I'm Jessica, 32, and last month my dad left me his farm worth $800,000. I was shocked. He trusted me to keep it going. The day after his funeral, my sister Lisa demanded I sell it and split the cash. When I said no, all hell broke loose. Then I got a text. Family meeting tomorrow. Be there. I walked into our old barn, and there they were. Lisa, my Uncle Tom, and two guys in fancy suits staring me down. I wasn't ready for what happened next. Drop a comment with where you're watching from, and let's dive into this wild story. My dad, James, wasn't just my father. He was my hero. Growing up, I'd spend summers on his farm, learning how to plant crops and fix tractors. He'd say, "Sarah, hard work beats handouts every time." He started with a tiny plot and a beat-up truck, turning it into 200 acres of thriving fields. His office was my favorite place. Old ledgers stacked high, the smell of coffee and earth. By 15, he let me track his expenses, teaching me how to spot a bad deal. "Numbers don't lie, kid," he'd grin. But Lisa? She never got it. Dad's only daughter, she grew up expecting handouts. I remember her blowing through his cash on fancy clothes and weekend trips. Once, when I was 12, I overheard her argue with Dad about money. She'd maxed out his credit card on a new purse. By the time I was in high school, our family was drowning in debt. Lisa and her husband, Greg, remortgaged their house twice, always blaming unexpected expenses. Meanwhile, Dad took me under his wing. He'd bring me to the farm on weekends, showing me how to negotiate with suppliers and treat workers right. "Your farm's only as good as the people who run it," he'd say. When I told him I wanted to study agriculture in college, his eyes lit up. "Smart choice, Sarah. Knowledge is power." He offered to pay my tuition, but Lisa got wind of it. Suddenly, she was calling him, whining about their mortgage, her son's medical bills, and a car for her daughter, Emily. My tuition money vanished into family funds. I took out loans and worked nights at a diner instead. Dad would slip me cash during visits, whispering, "Don't tell Lisa." When he got sick with lung cancer at 68, our talks got deeper. One day, in the hospital, he grabbed my hand. "Sarah, you get what money's for. Responsibility, not spending sprees. Lisa's never learned that." I promised to honor his wishes, not fully understanding what he meant. In his final weeks, he told me stories about Lisa's teenage years, stealing from his wallet, forging checks, even emptying a savings account for a motorcycle. "I gave her too much," he sighed. "But you, Sarah, you're different." A week later, he slipped away. I felt like I lost a piece of myself. 2 weeks after the funeral, we gathered at the lawyer's office for the will reading. It was a small room, smelling of old books. Lisa showed up in a designer jacket, sunglasses hiding her eyes. Emily and Greg sat beside her, my Uncle Tom looming behind. I sat alone. The lawyer, Mr. Harris, read the small stuff first. Donations, a watch for Tom, a fund for Dad's farmhand. Then the bomb dropped. "To my daughter Sarah, I leave my farm, investments, and all remaining assets." Silence hit like a brick. Lisa ripped off her sunglasses. "This is wrong," she snapped. "Read it again." Mr. Harris stayed calm. "It's clear, Miss Turner. Your father was specific." Lisa's face turned red. "I'm his daughter, his only child." Emily chimed in, voice shaking. "Dad wouldn't cut us out. Sarah must have tricked him." Tom just glared. I whispered, "Lisa, please." But she turned on me. "You planned this, didn't you? Visiting him when he was weak." The lawyer cut in. "James was of sound mind 6 months ago when he updated the will." Lisa slammed the table. "6 months ago, he was dying. She manipulated him." The room erupted, Lisa threatening to sue, Greg muttering about family loyalty, Emily crying. I sat there, stunned, Dad's trust weighing on me. Outside, Lisa cornered me by my car. "This is simple, Sarah. Sign the farm over to me. I'll make sure everyone gets a fair share." Her smile was cold. "I need time," I said. "What's to think about?" she snapped. "It's family money." That's not what Dad wanted, I replied. Her eyes narrowed. You're selfish. Emily needs college money. We're behind on bills. I noticed her new car in the lot. Didn't Dad give you $50,000 last year for the mortgage? She waved it off. Things come up. I drove away, her words echoing. You'll regret this. The next few weeks were brutal. Lisa blew up my phone. Texts calling me greedy. Voicemails about doing the right thing. Emily posted online. Some people forget family when money's involved. Old family friends messaged me, saying I was disappointing. My Uncle Tom called, quoting Bible verses about honoring parents. Even my coworkers got calls. Lisa somehow got their numbers. My boss, Karen, pulled me aside after a week of this. Sarah, is everything okay? I spilled the story, embarrassed. She offered me personal days and blocked Lisa's calls. Social media was worse. Lisa's posts about toxic kids got likes from cousins who didn't know the truth. One night, I saw her Instagram. A photo of her shopping for a new SUV captioned, "Treating myself moving on." That same week, she texted me about unpaid bills. I started doubting myself. Maybe I was selfish. Then I called Dad's old friend, Mike, who'd worked the farm with him for 30 years. Over coffee, he handed me a letter Dad wrote before he died. He gave me this, Mike said. Said to give it to you if Lisa caused trouble. The letter was in Dad's handwriting, dated a year ago. It explained why he chose me. Sarah's the only one who values the farm's legacy. Lisa's spent every dime I gave her. $250,000 over 10 years, never repaid. I trust Sarah to carry this forward. Tears stung my eyes. Mike added, Your dad kept a ledger in his office safe. Every loan to Lisa, every lie she told him, it's all there. I went to the farm that night, using my key for the first time since Dad passed. In his office, I opened the safe. Combination was my birthday. Inside was a notebook, pages filled with Dad's neat notes. Lisa, $20,000 for Emily's braces, spent on a Vegas trip. Lisa, $15,000 for repairs. Saw her new TV. I photographed every page and sent them to my lawyer, Jenna, who said, This is gold. Keep it safe. That night, I felt stronger. Dad believed in me. I wasn't letting him down. Then came Lisa's text. Family meeting tomorrow, 3 p.m. Time to fix this. Bring your ID and bank info. My stomach dropped. I showed it to my boyfriend, Ethan, over dinner. This feels like a trap, I said. He agreed. Don't go alone. Call Jenna. Jenna warned it might be a last-ditch effort before the will's 30-day contest period ended. Document everything, she said. Don't sign anything. The next morning, I met Mike again. He confirmed Dad's fears. He knew Lisa would fight you. That's why he wrote the letter. I drove to Lisa's house, heart pounding, my portfolio stuffed with Dad's letter and ledger. Jenna waited in her car nearby. The house looked normal, but the curtains were drawn. Odd for daytime. Lisa opened the door, smiling too sweetly. Sarah, right on time. Everyone's in the living room. Inside, the air was thick. Lisa, Emily, Tom, and 2 men in suits sat in a semicircle. A single chair faced them, like an interrogation. This is Mr. Clark and Mr. Evans, Lisa said. They're here to help us sort this out. I sat, clutching my portfolio. I wasn't told about lawyers, I said. Not lawyers, Lisa corrected. Advisors for the paperwork. Mr. Clark spoke first, voice smooth. Sarah, this farm's a big burden for someone so young. We've got a simple fix. He slid a document across the table. Transfer the farm to Lisa. She'll manage it and you'll get 20%. The rest splits fairly. Emily added, Dad wasn't himself at the end. You spent so much time with him. It looks suspicious. I kept calm. Dad was clear 6 months before he passed. Mr. Evans opened his briefcase. We can contest the will for undue influence. A judge might question your time with him. Lisa leaned in. No one wants a lawsuit, Sarah. Sign this and we're family again. Emily said, "We might lose the house without this." I flipped through the document. It gave Lisa full control, with vague promises for me. The room watched me, waiting. I smiled, channeling Dad's confidence. "Before I decide, Lisa, when did you buy that new SUV?" Her face froze. "What?" "You posted it online, captioned, 'Treating myself.' Same week you said you couldn't pay bills." Tom shifted uncomfortably. I opened my portfolio. "Dad's ledger says you took $20,000 for Emily's school fees last year. Emily was on a cruise then." I held up a photo from her Instagram. Mr. Clark cleared his throat. "Let's stay focused." "I am," I said, pulling out Dad's letter. Dad wrote this: "Sarah's the only one I trust. Lisa's spent $250,000 of my money, never repaid. I've got every lie documented." Lisa's face turned purple. "You're stealing what's mine," she yelled. "Like you stole my college fund for your spa trips?" I replied. The advisors looked nervous. Then Emily stood. "Sarah, stop." Everyone froze. "I didn't know about the lies," she said, voice shaking. "I thought you were greedy, but Mom's wrong." She walked to my side. "I'm with Sarah." Tom started to speak, but I held up my phone. "This is recorded. Careful what you say next." The advisors grabbed their briefcases, muttering about misrepresentations. I handed Lisa's contract back. "I'm not signing. Dad's wishes stand." With Emily beside me, I walked out, Lisa's shouts fading behind us. Jenna met us outside, relieved. "You okay?" she asked. "Better than okay," I said. Emily looked shell-shocked. "Mom kicked me out," she whispered. "You're staying with me," I said. At a diner later, Emily opened up. "Mom had plans, a new house, a boat, my tuition. She said you'd get scholarships anyway." I wasn't surprised, but it hurt. Jenna outlined next steps. File Dad's letter and ledger with the court, change my locks, consider a restraining order if Lisa kept harassing me. I set up a trust for Emily's college, a small stipend for Lisa with strict rules, and a foundation in Dad's name for young farmers. 6 months later, I moved into the farmhouse. It was emotional, sleeping in Dad's old room, but it felt right. Emily started college, interning at the farm on weekends. We launched an organic crop line, just like Dad wanted, and sales climbed. Lisa stayed angry, posting online about betrayal, but I didn't bite. Ethan kept me grounded, saying, "Don't feed the drama." A year after the fight, Lisa emailed me, "Truce. I'm tired of being mad. Can we talk?" We met at a restaurant, Ethan nearby just in case. Lisa looked tired, no designer clothes. "I'm in therapy," she said. "I'm starting to see why Dad chose you." It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. She even came to our new crop stand opening, staying for coffee after. Emily's studying agriculture now, and Ethan proposed last month. The farm's thriving, and I've made peace with Dad's choice. It wasn't about money. It was about building something that lasts. His ledger's last note said, "Sarah's got the heart for this. Make it count." I'm trying, Dad. If you've faced family fights over money, share your story in the comments. How do you balance love and standing your ground? Hit that like button and subscribe for more stories about real-life drama. Thanks for listening. The real legacy isn't cash. It's what we create and share.